Hi, I'm Gretchen Whistler from the Tustin Area Historical Society, and today is October 16, 2024, and we're down here at the Tustin Area Museum in Old Town, and we've got Joe Sprekelmeyer here, longtime Tustin Area Historical Society member, volunteer, former president, and heads of various committees over the years. Welcome, Joe. Nice to have you here.
Thank you.
We're going to find out a little more about Joe, how he came to California, but also a little bit about his life before. So do you want to tell us where it all started?
Well, I was born in Ardmore, Oklahoma, December 1st, 1937. Lived there. My parents lived there for 2 years. Then my dad got a job in El Paso, Texas. This is just before the war, World War II, building airplanes and airports. He was a plumber. We were there for 2 years, and then we moved to Fort Worth, Texas. While in Fort Worth, Texas, I attended the Catholic schools, and I graduated from high school in 1957, and I was lucky to get a 4-year football scholarship to play at the University of Kansas. At the University of Kansas from 1961, probably from 1957 to 1961. And while I was first there, my major was in social studies, history. And then I went to art. And then after that, after 4 years, I didn't have my degree yet. So I left Kansas because my parents had moved to Santa Ana, California. They did so because my mother wanted to be with her side of the family. Texas, we were with my dad's side of the family. My mother says, now that we're retired, we're going to be with my side of the family.
Good for Mom.
So after 4 years at Kansas, I didn't have a degree, but then I decided not to go back to Fort Worth, where I had a lot of friends. I went to California. Stayed with my parents in Santa Ana for a while. And I moved to Costa Mesa, where I had a part-time job with Kern Rima Hardware. And Kern Rima says, you're going to go back to school. You're going to work on the weekends, and go to school during the weeks. And I said, well, that's great. I'll take it. And he just remembered, Kern says, remember, there are three motivators in the world. It was Jesus Christ, Hitler, and Kern Rima.
Your boss.
My boss.
Your boss.
But he was a great guy.
So
I love the guy because he told me to go back to school. And I was so happy that he did that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
From there, I started teaching. I graduated in 1960.
Where'd you go to college here then?
I went to Cal State Long Beach.
Oh, Cal State Long Beach.
So I was in Cal State Long Beach. I finished, and I changed my major to PE with an art minor. And I still have the social studies though. But it turned out to be the quickest way to go was with PE. Because I thought I wanted to go into coaching. And I started teaching in Whittier, California in 1964. And I taught there for a couple of years, but I taught ancient history.
Ancient history?
Yes. And I was only a couple of days ahead of the students. I was spending my time after
Students
school
don't know this.
getting myself ready. But they hired me to coach. So I was one of the freshman coach, football coach.
Oh, yeah.
And I was a coach for track and field. But Whittier was in LA County. And I wanted to be in Orange County. So I took a year and I substitute taught about 40 different schools. I picked.
Was this high school level?
High school and junior high.
Bless you.
And I did that because I wanted to pick a school that where the principal was in charge.
Well, yeah.
I substitute taught at a couple of schools, where the PE teacher was in charge. Because the
Really?
principal was constantly calling the PE teacher to figure out what's to do with this and that. And I
Whoa.
thought, well, no, this is not where I would like to
No.
be. So out of the 40 schools, I picked 6 schools where I wanted to be. And I was offered a job teaching art, one of the junior highs I had listed on my top 6. That was Ladera Vista in Fullerton, California. And Andy Clay was the principal. I loved the guy. He was the best man at my wedding. So
That's great. So you taught.
from then, Andy Clay, I taught, the reason I was teaching there, I filled in for a gentleman who was a PE teacher. He wanted to take a sabbatical to get his master's degree. So they needed a PE teacher. So I filled in for him for a year. And then at the end of the year, he came back and wanted his old job back. So Andy Clay came to me and he says, would you like to teach art? He says, I've seen your transcript. And he said, you've got a lot of units in art. And I said, I love it. And that's where I taught for the rest of the year.
And I have to interject, you are a great artist. I've seen some of your work. And one year there was chalk art going on at the art walk, and you did a fabulous job of the chalk art on the sidewalk.
Right.
Beautiful, beautiful. So you're teaching in Fullerton, and how did you get to Tustin?
My first marriage didn't work out too well. I was married for 7 years. I had one son, John. And then there was a divorce. And I started going to this organization called Parents Without Partners, PWP.
Yeah.
And this is where I met my present wife, Dee.
Dee.
She had 4 children. So
Whoa.
I said,
were they small or were they
well, no, they
grown?
They were like they're almost teenagers. So I was with them for their teenage years.
And you're used to that because you were teaching teenagers too.
Yeah.
So that's great.
Yeah.
So was she in Tustin? Is this the thing that got you here?
She was living in here in Tustin.
Okay, then she was in Tustin.
And
yeah.
So when we got married in 1981, I moved with her.
Well, we're glad you did that.
So was I.
Then you came to Tustin. That's fabulous. When did you actually start living in Tustin?
It'd be 1981.
Okay.
When I married my wife, and I love Tustin. I've been here since 1981.
Yeah, over 40 years.
Been involved with a number of things here in the city.
So tell me, you continue to teach in Fullerton, is that correct?
Yes.
Or did you teach closer to home?
No, I stayed there until I retired.
And when did you retire?
I retired in 2004.
So tell me, how did you discover Tustin Area Historical Society?
I wanted to be involved because I've seen Old Town Tustin. And I've heard stories about it. I heard stories about Columbus Tustin.
Yeah.
And I had, and one of my majors at one time was history.
So there you go.
So that was, wow. I said,
You want to know more about Columbus Tustin and the history of our starting of our town.
And I walked in here and
in this museum. This is right after you retired and you just were wandering around.
Wanted to know, what was going on.
Yeah.
And wooden floor in here, the dark wood.
Yes.
And you could walk on some of the boards and they would squeak. Now this was like my grandfather's house.
Oh.
Back in Oklahoma.
So you said, ooh, this is good.
The shotgun house.
Oh, the shotgun house. We didn't talk about that. I want to hear more. What is the shotgun house? Explain.
It's where you have the living room, kitchen, and bedroom. It's just a straight shot.
So if you were in the bedroom and someone broke in, you wouldn't have to go around walls.
That's it, yeah. Yeah.
So this reminded you of the shotgun
Well,
house.
yeah, my grandfather's floor
Oh,
was
yeah.
dark and wood
Okay, and creaked a
and
little.
creaks a little bit. You know?
Okay,
I
cool.
love that.
So
And
you
when I
came
walked
in
in here, it was just like walking into my old shotgun house back in Oklahoma.
and this was in 2004. And actually, this museum has since been rejuvenated, and it's got wider walls,
Oh yeah,
everything. But when you walked in, it was probably a lot like the old days because
the old yeah.
the museum actually started in this particular facility in 1978. So this was definitely a 70s style,
Right.
a museum, and then with all the artifacts, it made it even older looking.
Yes.
So, yeah, cool. And this fire truck behind us, it was here when you walked in, right?
Yes. Yes, it was.
Yeah, yeah. So what did you think of the museum and then subsequently the historical society? Because sometimes people come in and look at the museum and they say thank you very much and they leave and they miss that whole piece about maybe joining the historical society and becoming active and involved.
Well, when I walked in, and the people that were here were very friendly,
That's
and I thought,
important.
wow,
That's
and,
nice.
and the old floor, again, it couldn't
was
be
like
any better
home.
than that. Yeah,
It was like home.
like
for
coming
you.
back home to a shotgun house. Yeah.
So then, what did you do to get involved? Did they
Well,
reach out to you, or did you say, "Hey, I think I'd like to come back here"?
I became a member and got involved. Was on the board, and then
Okay, wait. You became involved, and then you were on the board. So they must have noticed your involvement and how enthusiastic you were,
yeah,
and you were invited to be on the board as a regular board member initially.
yes.
But I did a little research on you. You were president of this entire organization by 2008, which is 4 years after you walked in. So you must have been a mover and a shaker to have that happen. Well, yeah, because you got on the board, and then 3 years or so on the board.
Well, I got involved with the history trunks.
Can you tell me a little more about that? Because I don't think everybody knows when this started and what it is.
Well, the history in the trunk was to be given to the third grade teachers so that they can discuss, because a Tustin student only gets anything about Tustin history is in third grade.
Because they talk about their hometown.
Right. They talk about their hometown. They have the trunk where they can see the ball and jacks,
Yeah.
all the old artifacts.
And I hear that the Tustin Unified School District reached out to the Tustin Historical Society, and we're kind of partners with the school district in that regard, because we provide the boxes, which are kind of big trunks, actually. And can you tell me what used to be in there in those wonderful trunks that the kids would enjoy?
Well, there was aprons and bonnets
From the old days.
from the old days, like what women would wear, the bonnets that they would wear,
Yeah.
girls would wear.
Yeah.
There was the ball and jacks. You put the ball up, you grab a jack.
Oh, yeah.
Ball.
Kids today don't know anything about that.
And then there were books.
Yes.
And then there was books about Tustin history.
There's an old washboard, I remember.
A washboard, right.
Where you wash the clothes. It was a little bit different life then, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Because Tustin was mostly agricultural in the beginning.
Yes.
And a lot of people who moved here were either merchants in Old Town, or they owned land in the surrounding areas and crops.
Yes.
So they were farmers.
Farmers, yeah. Walnuts.
Yeah.
And Orange County got its name from a color. Not from the oranges.
Not from the fruit?
No.
From a color? What?
Stafford, when this property was bought from the ranchero, Santiago de Santa Ana.
Yes.
Tustin Club, Stafford, Tustin, Columbus, Tustin, they bought property. It was 1,400 acres.
Yeah.
Bought it for like $3.50 an acre. And they divided up the property. And
Santa
then
Ana.
Stafford became Santa,
Yeah.
this town became
Right.
Santa Ana, and this became Tustin.
So how did the name Orange get into the
So we were part of LA County.
Yeah.
And Stafford and Tustin says, you know, we want to be our own county.
Mhm.
We want people from back east where it's cold, wet, and rainy
Mhm.
to come to a warm climate. So let's call it Orange.
Oh.
Red means hot, green means cool,
Ah, the color.
orange means warmth.
Ah.
30 years later, the orange tree showed up.
Wow, I did not know that.
Or,
You know a lot. See, this is why it's so important to show this to everyone. That's great.
Yeah.
I always thought it was because the oranges grew.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And
A lot of people don't know that. They
well,
don't.
now a lot of people do. So you were involved in History in the Box. Also, I know this for a fact because I used to help you out. You would go to the school and kind of give a little reenactment.
Yeah.
And I use that term in both the farmer portion and also the Civil War portion because on the side, you were a Civil War reenactor.
Yes.
You were very busy. So you have a Civil War uniform.
Yeah, I got the uniform and all that. And I had a muzzle loader gun, like not a rifle, but a muzzle loader. And in the stock of the gun, there was a little place where the bayonet was. This gun came from Germany. My great grandfather brought the gun over, Sprekelmeyer, and gave it to my great grandfather, who fought in the Civil War with that gun.
So this was from that era.
That gun is.
And you have it.
Yeah, the gun is anywhere from 175 to 180.
Were you able to bring the gun with you in your uniform?
Yes.
And the farmer and his wife, when you went to do your little show and tell?
Yes.
You were allowed to bring that in. Wow.
Yes.
I bet the kids really, really loved that.
Yeah, and the thing is, they didn't understand what the Civil War was about.
Another thing, the history.
Well, it's a different story, but I mean, you know, it took a little time to explain to them what the war was about.
And there were Civil War men who served who came here.
Oh yeah,
and some are buried in Fairhaven.
Santa Ana Cemetery. Yeah, Santa Ana Cemetery has a lot of guys who fought in the Civil War that came, you know, because they lost their property, they lost their homes. And they decided to move to California to start a new life. There's a lot of Santa Ana cemeteries full of them.
So that really tied into the start of Tustin, the city of Tustin.
Yeah, Tustin history.
Actually, Tustin area. But
now, the population of Tustin at one time had a lot of people from the South.
Really?
Because of the war.
Because of the war.
Yeah.
So you and who was it at first? Doug Manning, I believe.
Doug Manning.
Margaret Pottinger from the Jabberwocky. Yes. And the three of you would go to the school. And I understand that Doug played the farmer. And Margaret was the farmer's wife. And they were all dressed up. Right. And the kids loved it.
We love doing that.
It really makes it real when you do that. Aside from the history of the box, which shows the artifacts and things, but to have the three of you go and give a little story about.
Well, that's why I came up with the art contest.
I want to hear about that too, because that also is third grade, right?
Yes.
So tell me about that. How that all started.
Well, it all started when I talked to the board about it. Get it started. They wanted a poster contest, which meant that you had to send, you know, each school had to make directional signs, and we didn't always have information on what houses were going to be visited. So I said, wait a minute, no, that's too much. It's not going to work.
No.
Let's just have an art contest for the kids.
Yes.
And have the art contest in the spring, because that would give the teachers a time in the fall and early spring to come and tour Old Town Tustin and tour the museum.
Because that's also part of the partnership between the Historical Society and the school district is to have the classes come here for school tours.
Yeah.
And not to get away from the art contest, because I do want to focus on that, but you were also head of that piece where the school children, to this day, they come in.
Yes.
But at the time when it started, you were the main docent here
Yes.
for that event. And talk to me a little bit about that, because
Well,
not everyone knows.
It just, it just made so sense. Being an art teacher,
yeah,
it just made so much sense to have something for the kids that they would induce them to be more interested in Tustin history.
So from their visits here, which included sitting in the museum and looking around, kind of going from display to display, they also had the second part of their tour was to walk around Old Town, right?
Yes. And
then
I still do that.
Yeah, I know. You're fabulous. All these years.
Yeah.
So they walk by old homes or older stores.
The Stevens house, the Hughes house, the Charles house.
And they see all this, and then they're thinking, okay, what am I going to draw
for
the contest?
Right.
So then they go back and they work on it. And there's a deadline for them to turn in their art, right?
Yeah, and then we had a financial prize for the winners,
Oh, yeah, tell me. It was Knott's Berry Farm.
Well, yeah, there was,
started.
Take us to Knott's Berry Farm, yes. Yeah. And they could win money. Like first place, we had $150.
Oh, for a third grader to win that amount.
Yeah.
Boy.
Yeah.
That's nice.
And
so that's been going on for how many years?
Oh, we started that back in about 2007.
You'd only been a member of the Historical Society for 3 years, and you have done all of that in 3 years. No wonder they made you president. And then, on top of that, which we can always go back and talk more about the art contest, then there was the Home and Garden Tour. I know when I first met you, you were in charge of that as well.
Yeah.
And you want to tell me a little bit about that?
Well, there was people, Al Corfield, Gretchen Whistler, Pete Beatty.
But before that, when I first met you, when I first got on the board in 2009, you said, come on, you're going to be part of this committee. And we sat at a table and there were 5 of us. And you were in charge and you said, we're going to have a home and garden tour. I think it had been going on for years.
Yes.
And here's how we're going to do it.
Yes.
And we pulled it off, just about 5 of us.
Yeah, we all have these different places where we go to get donations.
Right.
For the different companies. And Margaret Pottinger, God bless her soul. We knew that
nobody could turn her down.
No, she was.
She would walk, and then I found out that I'm not good at sales because I go and I say, you don't want to have an ad in the book, do you? And they say, no.
Not Margaret.
Not Margaret. When am I going to get your money?
Yes.
We need you. Yeah, she's good. So, but you headed that up and you organized it.
Yeah.
So you were involved in so many things. And then, of course, you were president for 3 years.
Yeah. Well,
since then, you were constantly involved in the school tours and also going out to the school, sending the children with a fun program.
Yeah, my hometown.
Yeah, that's fabulous.
And when I drive to other towns like Garden Grove, Santa Ana, you don't see that kind of stuff that you see here.
What I like, and I think you agree with me, this is becoming a very large town because they've developed the ranch actually, and then down in the Legacy. So our population has grown even in the last 20 years, definitely in the last 40 years. But we still maintain in this area an old town feel. You know, it's just like you can walk down the street and you meet people you know and say, "Good morning, how are you?" And you can't always. And it's a great place to raise children.
Oh, yeah.
Great schools.
The school district is
Yeah.
outstanding.
Yeah. Do you want to share any more about the art contest? And every year you have the art and all the wonderful, wonderful posters, or not posters, I'm sorry, but the wonderful art that the children would do. Amazing.
Yeah, we would, what I would do after we selected the winners, I would take all the artwork and take it over to the library.
Ah, yes.
And I used to put it up in the library.
Yes.
With the winners and showing the ribbons.
I think I
Yeah.
You put your heart and soul into that and everything you did. Those. And you've still been involved, even though you kind of retired a little bit there for a while.
Yeah.
Retired from retirement.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
Well, you're someone who will always be involved, thankfully. And we sure appreciate you to this very day. You're wonderful. You've done a lot for the museum. And it's wonderful to hear more about you. So this has been great. Do you have anything else you want to share?
I just am very happy and proud of the fact that I've been a part of this Tustin history and people here in Tustin. And like you go walk next door to the restaurant next door, and people I know that have been involved with the museum.
Yes, absolutely.
Tiffany next door,
yes,
you know, and the people who go down the street, and the old barber shop.
And what's great about being involved in the Historical Society, not only do you learn a lot, but you contribute your time and you bring your own personal talents when you do that. And you can be active a little bit, or like you can just take it all in and do it all. You've done it. You have kept the school tours and school visits and the history in the box all those years, because I know it was started by two teachers. Actually, it was Becky Cameron and weren't they the ones that started it?
Yes.
But to keep it going takes people like you who are interested in caring of it. That's where we really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's been great talking with you.
Thank you, Campbell.
So thank you all for watching, and please think about joining or at least coming down to the museum, getting more involved. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, everybody.
And remember, Tustin's the best.